Hey, what's up, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of Get Close. I am your co-host, Gio.
And I'm Bart.
And today we have one of yours and my favorite guests back. We have Thach in the house. What's up? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being back. This is going to be a super fun video. The other video, if you didn't catch it, please watch it. It's very heartfelt. You're going to learn so much. More than any book or any school or anything will ever teach you, so make sure to listen to that podcast. But in this episode, we are going to you guys, the questions that you guys wanted to ask Thach yourself, and Bart's going to kick it off.
I actually have my own first question.
Yes. You cheater.
Because we're just all talking outside, and you were talking about how you got into almost going to prison because of what happened, or like real estate or something. Like what was that story?
Yeah, you know, again, this is one of my pivoting point in my life. You know what I mean? Finding clarity in my life. I'm a big believer that we have to go through fuck up to find clarity.
Yeah,
we have to go through breakdown to have breakthrough. We have to go through what I call contrasts, right, to find purpose and clarity. And I sold up. One of my friends called me and he said, "Hey man, I want to sell my house." So I go to their house and list their house and I put it on the market. And he called me and he said, "Hey man, one of my friends want to buy my house. Can you write it up?" No problem. And then I met his friend. His friend said, "Hey, my credit's shot. Can you maybe put it in this guy's name?" So I told the guy, "Go get pre-approved. And when you get pre-approved, and if you can buy it, I have no problem writing it up." The guy got pre-approved, right? And you know, back then you can do state loan, right? Put 25% down, no credit, no problem, right? 2 years later, right?
You can't do that anymore.
You can't do that anymore. You need credit.
I see.
Right? I'm at work and I get a page. "Hey, Thach, come to the front desk." I get to the front desk and I get up there and then there were these two people there and they said, "Can we speak to you privately?" I'm like, "Okay." I go into a private office and the guy said, "Hi, my name is blank, blank, blank. I work for FBI." Oof. And she is blank, blank. She works for IRS.
Oh, damn. Shit.
And my heart was just like dropped at that time. Oof. And I was already successful at the time. You know what I mean? I just moved into this new office, you know, and I just felt a little embarrassed, you know what I mean, at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What's the problem?" I was like, "Well, we just picked up this guy from California with 25 kilos of cocaine."
Oh my God.
And we've been doing investigation on him and all the people associated with him. And we're taking down a lot of people who've been associated with him. And you're one of the person we noticed that sold him a house.
God damn.
And I was like, "Yes, what's the problem? We believe that you know he's a drug dealer and you still sold him the house. In the federal system, that's called money laundering and that's called conspiracy. And we are planning to indict you for conspiracy, and that's 15 years in the penitentiary."
Oh my
Fuck.
God. You
How do
and
you
your
fight
wife?
that?
Well, at that time, right? At the time, I wasn't married to Cameron yet, right? And basically, I went and hired an attorney. I didn't know where to look for. Somebody referred me a really good attorney, which is the manager of that office. He said, "Go see my friend." I went to see him. I remember the next day, right? I went to see the attorney, and the attorney called up the Fed and said, "Hey, man, from now on, that was my client. Talk to me." And I remember, this is what I will say to people too. Make sure when you guys are working, don't spend all your money. Make sure you have money saved because you never know when the rainy day will come.
Yeah.
You never know. And it could come in the weirdest forms.
All in the form. The guy says, "You're going to have a little bit of problem because you hang out and associate with a lot of great people in the neighborhood where you grew up, and there's good people there, right? But there's also a judgment of these people probably are drug dealers, and not everybody drug dealer in South Seattle. And so the feds is going to try to pin you for, you know, you hang out with drug dealers. Even though you're a successful real estate agent, right?
And legit.
And you're legit, but it's the association they're going to try to get you for.
Yeah.
So you
Are they just like homies that you grew up with?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Now, the guy who I sold the house to, I don't know the guy.
I see.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're going to need somebody representing you, but your Cammy, I can't do both of you guys. I'm going to have to refer you to one of my other clients, right, in the office. And to get started, we need a $15,000 non-refundable retaining fee for each person.
Oh, 30 grand out
30
the door
grand.
like
And this is in 1995, bro. I was just, you know what I mean, becoming successful.
Yeah.
And thank God I was saving money early. Okay?
Yeah.
Imagine you didn't have it.
What is that now? 30 grand? 50 grand?
100 grand?
Probably 100 grand, probably. You know what I mean?
God.
You're talking about big dog. He's the big dog, okay?
Yeah.
And so for 2 years, okay, what the Fed does is they actually take Cammie in to the grand jury. In the grand jury, her attorney cannot go inside the court.
Oh, shit.
Because everything you say in the grand jury cannot be held against you. But everything you say in the grand jury got to be consistent when we go to trial.
I see.
So that's the tricky thing.
Shit, yeah.
But we're clean, so everything we say is clean, so we don't have to worry about covering our tracks.
I see.
But at the same time, my attorney says to me, you got to keep going out there and sell and door knocking and go out there and sell houses like you've been selling 50, 80 homes a year, because you stop selling that many homes, they're going to think all the home you sell was drug dealer.
Oh, my God.
So I want you to think about here as Cammie's at the grand jury, in the grand jury by herself, her attorney sitting outside. I'm out door knocking, all right, looking for more deal with the mindset of, why should I keep going door knocking? Other than I got to do it to prove my innocence, I don't sell home to drug dealer. And everything I was making that goes to my bank account, they froze my money so I can't use it if I go to trial.
What the fuck?
So for 2 years, it was like that.
So you had enough savings to last 2 years?
Well, I can use it to pay my bill. I can't use it to do anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
You can't use it to like flip houses or invest more.
Or like, if I have to go do a trial, you know what I mean?
Yeah. God
and
damn.
so I lived in my mom and dad's house. And my attorney said, you can't tell nobody what you're going through because we want to keep it undercover. So it was on me and Cammie going through this hard stuff during our time.
Oh, my God.
Keeping it to ourselves.
Wow.
So she was going through the grand jury for about probably 6 to 12 months.
Oh, my
And I'm out here door knocking. And then finally, they said, I'll give you immunity if you fucking tell us the truth. And her attorney was like, okay. All right, sign it. They signed it. Cammie went for the last time and told him the same ass story again. And they was pissed. So then they says, Thach, we're going to come out to Thach on Monday. This is like on Wednesday or Thursday. And so Friday, me and Cammie decided to go to Vancouver to strategize. And we were like, look, honey, they want to take me in. If for some reason I don't come back out and I have to go spend 15 years.
God damn.
Let's talk about the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario, I'm going to give you a power of attorney for my name. So if anything you got to sell to make it, to get rid of the real estate so you can live, right? Because she was still working at Safeway, right? She didn't work with me yet. Then you just sell the property you need to. Don't worry about me, okay?
This is before you guys are even married.
Yes, right.
It's tight.
Before.
You knew you guys were going to get married, though?
Oh, yeah.
The she was in one?
Right.
I see.
Then I said to her, the worst, and then if you need to sell it, sell it. Then the worst case, I don't come out for 15 years.
Oh, my God.
And you need to move on, you have the right to move on. You don't have to wait until I get out.
Damn.
If this is the worst case, let's make peace with it. So then I can go in. I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
You just do what you got to do. And we already agreed on this already. If that's the worst case, let's agree on this. And we have to walk our way through the worst case all the way to the bottom.
Yeah.
So we can have peace of mind, both of us.
Yeah.
Because I know if I went in there, if I don't come back out either, then we need to also have that conversation.
Yeah.
And so we have that conversation. We make peace with it. And then on our way driving back home, being ready to get picked up on Monday,
Damn.
I just felt free, man. I just felt the sky open up. And I'm at home waiting for them to come get me on Monday, the feds.
Oh,
They didn't come on Monday.
God.
They didn't come on Tuesday.
Oh.
They didn't come on Friday. They didn't come next month. My attorney called me like a couple weeks after I've been waiting. And they said, I don't know. They told me they're going to come get you. I've been in this business for 15, 20 years. And when they say they're going to come get you, they come get you. And I don't know why they have not come got you. And that was my pivoting point. I realized when you make peace with the worst case scenario, you stop attracting the worst case scenario in your life. If you don't make peace, you already imprison yourself anyways by just thinking about the worst thing that's happening every day. When you can make peace with everything, you stop focusing on putting your energy on the worst case. And all I was focusing on was spending time with my family, taking them to family trips. That's all I focus on. And from this day, they still haven't came.
Damn.
That's awesome.
That's the power of law of attraction.
Damn. Well, and not doing some dirty shit.
Right?
On Sunday, did you guys have sex one last time?
That's right.
Hell yeah, dude.
Before I went back home,
Yeah, you're like
That's
that.
the question.
Yeah.
Okay?
Like, I would be gone for 15 years.
That's it.
I need
That's
something to remember.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh
it.
shit! Make it extra
That's the
dirty.
power, man. That's the power. That's the power.
That's tight. All right. So did you get your question out of the
I
way?
did. No,
all right.
that's
Now we're
amazing.
moving on to your guys' questions. Okay, Thach. Could you explain how a 20-year-old with little to no money can begin financing his first asset?
Yes. So, sometime when you're young, you don't have credit established yet, or you haven't worked at a job that pay enough money where you can have your income that the bank will finance you, so you can actually have your first real estate piece of property. Either you live in it or you going to keep it as a rental.
Because from the bank's perspective, you need a track record.
At least 2 years.
To prove that if I give you this money, you're going to pay it back.
That's right. And you're capable of paying it back.
Capable.
So I would say to the young people, what you got to do, whatever you do for a living, go ahead and make your money. But the most important thing, you have to practice, right? Patient. You can't always have stuff instantly, okay? Practice, save your money. That's why I tell my kids, save your money. If your credit is messed up, go get it cleaned. Keep your debt down. And then save your money, because if you're a first-time home buyer, you can buy with 3.5% down. You move into the property, and if you want, right, you can live there, or you can stay at home like me, and you turn it into a rental property. Then you built your first asset, and from there, your property appreciate, you make more money, you can pull a little bit of money out, and then buy the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And that's how a young person can actually start with very little money.
Nice.
Is there a percentage that you recommend for people to save? Like, let's say they make however much. Is it like 5%, 10%, 50%?
Right. So when you're first time home buyer, let's say you buy a house for $500,000, all you need is 3.5% down, which is a little less than 20 grand. Most people can save that. They really put the mind to it.
Yeah.
True. That's
My
true.
kids, Russell and Hudson, got $13,000-$14,000. You know what I mean? Save, and they're young.
Yeah.
Okay. So and then when you buy your house, you want to have probably 6 months ideally in reserve.
That's a good good
Okay.
tip.
But most people never tell you that because they all talk, always leverage. So reserve is important if you're ever going to do real estate.
In terms of, in case you don't rent it out, you can still afford the payments for 6 months.
That's right.
Oh, I see.
That's right. Right. So that's a tip I call. You can buy it, first home buyer. If you don't want to live in it, I lived in my mom and dad's house, and I had 15 rental property before I moved out. I just kept doing it over and over and over.
Man, good thing you love your parents, Mexico. I couldn't wait to move out.
But that's the true way to save, though.
That's the true way.
Absolutely.
Right?
You ain't paying shit.
You got to get creative,
This-
tap into your resources, and
right.
that's the best way to expand.
Like I always say, man, if you don't teach your kid how to be creative now, when they get to that point, they got to learn how to be creative. Learn it now early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are some good tips. Okay, next question. What was your biggest failure and how did you recover from it?
God, so many. So many, man. So many.
That's
so
what I
many.
realized, too. The more successful you are, the more failures you
Yes.
have, actually.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just even personal failure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? And it doesn't even have to be money failure.
Interpersonal
Right?
failures.
Right? So many things. Man, let me see what's one. I mean, let me answer like this. One of my biggest failure that I went through that got me to playing big today. Okay. I remember I was selling real estate, making good money. I was building single family home. And then one of my friends said to me, hey man, you should partner with me. We should build big apartment buildings. You know real estate, you have money, you have network. We can raise money. We can actually, build a big apartment building. And at that time, I would say I was probably, if I got honest, 2 or 3 years ahead of myself. I was like, okay, let's do it.
Like your abilities?
Yeah, my ability, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You overestimated what your abilities
That's
are.
right.
I
Right?
see.
And I just did it because I was like, let's play big. And I always tell people, sometimes it's okay to take a little bit of time because everybody want to play. They like to get their skis in front of them a little bit too far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we started and we went and bought this piece of land for $8 million. I raised pretty much $6 million of that $8 million of my own friends and families, and my partner raised the other $2 million. And we built this 251 unit apartment building in downtown Seattle. We built it as a condominiums, okay? And we had a big event there, and we pre-sold 251 unit in the first week.
Nice.
Wow. It was in 2006. And it's going to take 2 years to build this building. It was already permitted, ready to go. And then at the beginning of 2008, coming in toward the end, the building's almost done, the market turned in 2008.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And about mid-year of 2008, 200 of the 250 sales, they withdraw their offer.
Oh, my God.
They got the earnest money back because you can do that when you do condominium, right? Because they don't lose your money until the end when you sign this thing called public offering statement. And that don't get provided until the end when the building is done. So middle of 2008, 200 sale, they all pull out literally in 30 days. And I had 51 sale left only.
Oh my God.
And the market now has been literally went soft.
Yeah.
And you couldn't sell 200 unit in 6 months to save this building. And I was stressed out of all my friends' money. And I'm stressing. Me and Cammie we went meditating. And then on our way to work one day, we were driving, we were at this light. And Cammie, she's way more alert than me. She turned to the corner on the sidewalk, and there was this A board. And it says Carbon 57 for rent. And Carbon 57 was my friend's building. Jim Potter's building was a condominium building. Mine was a condominium building also. And he's renting his building out.
Oh.
And when your mind is quiet and they don't have a lot of shit going on, you can see messages from the universe.
Yeah.
And the message was, rent your building out.
Yeah.
And so we went to the bank and said, look, the market's soft. Give us an extension on the construction loan for 1 year. Let us turn it into a rental. After a couple of weeks, they said, fine. We got it all rented out in 1 year. And now it's 2010. Now the bank started failing out there, remember?
Yep.
Yeah. We went to the bank and said, it's all leased up now. Give us the permanent financing. And they said, sorry, our bank's getting bought out by another bank. They don't know you guys. And they says, nope, they want the loan. You got 90 days to either come up with the cash or sell the building, or we're going to repo your building.
Oh my God.
Shit.
Right?
Damn.
I got dramas and dramas for you guys, okay? Story. And so we meditated again and was like, okay, let's put it on the market. We put it on the market and we
just
were
to
blessed.
sell.
To sell. We had the market for apartment was just bending the corner, and all these investor, all the big hedge fund wanted to buy it, and we sold it and we broke even. We had 49 million until we sold for 50 million. And 50 million after minus all the fees and everything, we paid back the bank in full, but all the investor got a 25% haircut. And during the whole time for 2 years, you guys, I meditated and I said, I am going to make my investor whole some way. They are not going to lose their money, right? And I'm going to bring back this check for them. I'm going to personally deliver to them in their hand. And you know what? When they sold you guys, even though we got a 25% haircut, when I went back and gave the money to my investor, they said to me, we love you because you didn't give up. Damn. And you still gave us back our 75% into our eyes. Anytime you ever need money, you come back to us.
Damn.
That's awesome.
And that's one of the biggest things I learned was integrity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made a promise, and I'm going to do what it takes to deliver it.
Dude, it's all that mindset you talk about, because I asked you about regret and you flipped it and you were like, this is the best, greatest lesson I have ever learned. Yeah. That's tight. That's why you'll never fail.
Yeah. Integrity is the biggest thing, man.
Yeah.
If you ain't got integrity, you got nothing.
That's true.
I agree. My dad, that's one thing. My dad always told me, he's like, if you have no word, you have nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Today, that's why I got so many investors want to invest in me. But today I have money now. I don't need nobody. And I have more people coming to me now that want to invest in me than ever. Damn. But I don't need their money. Damn. And that's even makes it even like more crazy.
That is crazy, yeah.
But anybody that get involved with me in anything I do, and again, I always check my core value. If I feel like they're the right people and do things, if it's aligned with my core value, I do it. And if I'm doing it, we're going to go all the way to the finish line together.
That's tight.
That's how I
love
roll.
that.
That's
I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we like to live by that too.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Is it dumb to pay the PMI if you don't have 20% down?
And what's
then
PMI too?
Yeah. He's saying, and then they were at, well, I don't know if this is only applies in Texas because I guess they're from Texas.
Yeah. PNI stands for principal and interest. No. What I would do, okay, is if you don't have 20%, just still buy the house. Okay? 3.5%, right? You're going to have to pay a little bit principal and interest.
Is it insurance?
Principal and interest, right? Because if you don't have 20%, you got this insurance that insure the money, right?
Yeah.
After you get 20% equity in your property, you can remove the
I see
the
insurance,
mortgage insurance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Called mortgage insurance. So you buy it, then you let it ride, and with the market how it is, people can instantly get their 20% in equity in their property pretty quick. The moment I hit 20%. Then you can actually call the bank and ask them to take out the mortgage insurance, and then now you don't have to pay the mortgage insurance no more, and you're good.
That's awesome.
Oh, that is awesome.
How long does it take for your equity to get like 20% equity usually?
Look at your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the market, right?
Depends where the market and what you bought. You know what I mean?
That's true.
I mean, with the market how it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, people are getting 20% equity, man, within less than a year.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about the market, here's the next question. Do you think that the housing market will get cheaper in the next few years?
No. There right now.
Because there's a lot of people that I also know, they're sitting on money and
they're waiting for the market to crash and jump in.
Yeah, because it feels like it's been going, straight up the whole time.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, there's got to be a correction, maybe in like how there was in 2008.
They're not going to have the correction like 2008 where the bank was making fake loans. So many people lost their house and then short sale everything, and then it crashed and the home became cheaper, right?
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of people buying with equity.
I see.
There's a lot of people buying houses out there with equity. So I don't think the market's going to crash. Okay. Here's the biggest reason why. There is so many people that are out there still looking to buy. Okay. The problem right now in the United States, there is not enough new home for the population growth. So new builder, they have to constantly go out there and find land to build to keep up with the growth. When the new construction property continue to keep growing, the old houses grow with it because it's part of it. So we right now, they say that we are so far behind on enough house for the population growth for a long time, like 10 plus years, 20 plus years.
Wow.
Far. Okay. So they need a lot of houses. And so they're gonna need them. And so if anything right now, the market's gonna cool down. It's gonna flatten out for a while, and then it's gonna go back up again. So if you look at all the history of real estate, it's always been up, flat, and the only time it ever dipped like that was 2008 market, which was all fake stimulant market.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna go down in 2008. So I think if anybody's gonna buy, what I tell the people, there's two type of property to buy. Property that's already turnkey, ready to go in, move in, or property you can buy and rehab and add value. I teach people, if you want to buy property, especially investment property, go buy a property that needs work. So you buy it at a lower price, add your sweat equity in it. When you get done, it's worth as much as a nice house, but you got instant equity. And then you're always outperforming the market because you're buying it below the market. So you have cushion.
Yeah, that's smart.
Like that.
How do you find good contractors to help do the whole sweat equity stuff?
Referrals.
Oh, okay.
All through referrals.
Gotcha.
Right? Don't ever look through a yellow page. Get someone that's already worked with the person. They had experience with them many times. And then when you talk to them, you go interview them. You go look at their house. You go look at their work. You go, check out the finishing. Right? Then, but at the end of the day, you can do all that. But the only really way you're going to know, you got to get in bed with them at least once.
Yeah.
So that this person's legit.
You get in bed with them. I'm not going to do it.
All the time. Yeah. I love getting in bed.
Okay, here's another question. How to beat the Chinese money when it comes to buying real estate?
Goddamn Chinese.
I thought they were putting bans on the Chinese, bringing so much money
They
out
are making
here.
it tougher.
Right?
What they want is they want turnkey, nice luxury property. It's just they're using it it's the safety deposit box money.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
They got a lot of money. They don't buy the stuff everyday people buy.
Yeah.
They buy the nice, expensive home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To park their money, they pay cash for it.
Yeah.
Right? So if you are competing against the Chinese money and you buy an expensive home, that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
But the everyday people, we're not going to have that problem. So the question is, how do you compete against this crazy market, right? Again, if you buy in turnkey home, you compete against everybody.
Yep.
If you find a home that's not on the market, look, anybody can drive down the street and go, look at that house I need to work. You got grass is cut, the grass is tall, the house looks like I need paint. That's the house that need work. Anybody can write a letter to them and call them, a door knock them, and ask them, would you consider selling your home? I'm looking to buy a property. And it's all timing.
Wow.
Remember, people that have a house that need work, at some point, that house become a burden for them.
Yeah.
And if you actually do that enough, like sales, you talk to enough people, on average, you're gonna get something.
Yeah.
If you buy those houses that need work off market, you don't never have no competition. That freeway is very little people on that freeway. The freeway that's buying house on the MLS with that turnkey, there's a lot of traffic there.
I see.
Yeah.
That's how you make money in real estate.
Damn, that's a good point.
Yeah, because sometimes those guys are looking to let go of their house too.
Yeah.
But they're just waiting for someone to come and ask them.
That's right. They never put their house on the market. Those people, the house that need work, they're embarrassed. They don't want to clean the house out. There's too much stuff.
Yeah.
Where would they put it? So they'd rather have somebody buy as is, and so they can just pack up and go one time.
That's really
dope.
good. That's some really good advice.
Yeah.
Okay, another question. Better to pay off student loans first or use money to invest first?
Student loan. Yep.
Why do you think it's student loan, or what do you say?
Well, it depends, right? If the student loan is low,
this person says they have $150K debt when they graduate.
Oh my God.
2023, dude.
Yeah. I would say a couple of things you do. One, whatever you do for a living, right? Keep doing that. Get creative. There's so many different ways now to make money online.
There's a ton.
Right? Add multiple more stream to make more money. And I think that if you're going to buy something, I think it's better to go find multiple ways to make money, pay down your loan, and then begin buying your property. It's just a discipline thing.
Right.
All it is just, I think people just get a habit of just having debt, right? I think you have more peace of mind if you can just pay off that loan. You know what I mean? And then go buy your property. And then from there, you start off a clean slate. Yeah. Because later on, when you get your house, you still get your house payment and you got your student loan. And you got your car payment, everything payment. Later on, when you start buying rentals, you don't want to have a lot of bad debt. You know what I mean? Just get rid of some of that. To me, it's more important, should I pay that off if I buy? It's more important to get creative and trying to find multiple more stream of income.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the advice I've read online, it's everyone plans for when it's the sunniest, brightest day.
Yeah.
But there's always a risk no matter what.
There's
it could be like a what is it called? When there's like a giant tornado, natural disaster, or some crazy world event, right? The market can crash. That's
right.
So if the market crashes, you're stuck with that loan and your student loan. Then you're like double fucked. Yeah.
It's if you don't give a shit about peace of mind, you're always going to take the route where it's like, who cares? I call that people that leveraging all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that if you can learn how to find balance and have, again, we talked about this earlier, right? Financial peace of mind and emotional peace of mind, I think it's important.
Yeah, it is important.
It's very important. So I think if the interest rate is low and your mortgage is, if the interest rate on those student loans low and you have a low balance, for sure. You know what I mean? If you can try to do both, go for it. But you got a loan like that, man, try to get rid of it. You know what I mean? Just get rid of it. Just get it out of your mind.
Yeah.
Right? Get creative. Go make some more money.
Yeah.
Pay it off.
Yeah. No, those are some good tips. Okay, next question. How would you start real estate investing if you were to start from scratch today?
Yes.
And is it the approach different now than how, were the rules different now?
Yes. Today, if I was teaching anybody today, first of all, everybody ultimately want to own rental property. That's the ultimate wealth. But if you don't have no money and no credit, you're not going to be able to own rental. You do need some money. Everybody who talk about, oh, you can do real estate investment with no money and no credit. I'm going to call that bullshit because the people who does all the clickbait, they didn't say that's called wholesaling. Wholesaling, when you find an off-market deal, then you tie it up, then you wholesale that contract to an investor, and when it closed, right, let's say you contract that deal with the owner for $300 and you wholesale that deal for $350 to an investor. When he closed, you make $50,000 what they call it, wholesaling fee. You don't need no credit, no money to do that. You just, all you did, found a deal, you just sold it and made a deal. You can do that. You can make money wholesaling. But you can't buy a house unless you are approved from the bank and you got money and credit. So if I was new, I'd teach someone to go out there and learn how to wholesale. Learn how to find off-market deal. Learn how to evaluate. Learn how to make a list of buyers so you can sell it to, and learn how to wholesale it to an investor. Because when you learn how to do that, you learn how to study the market the same way with the guy who got money to buy. You learn how to find off-market deal. You learn how to evaluate. Then you learn how to make money. Now, instead of you wholesaling deal, now you're going to buy the deal yourself. So you're playing in the same sandbox, the guy who has money, but you don't have the money. Just find the deal and just wholesale it for now. And then you work your way up the ladder, making money, find a contractor, fix and flip, maybe one or two, and then fix and hold and keep it as rental property. And that's how I do it today. That's how I teach all my students how to do today.
That's awesome. Do your kids do any of that stuff?
Yeah. My kids right now learn how to flip houses with me. They put their own money in with me with flip houses.
That's awesome.
And they have to go to the site, learn how to, what people do for demo. They have to go pick tile, pick cabinet, pick carpet. They learn how to do that at 16 and 13. That's why my kid recently asked, when's the next flip? They did a flip meeting about 2 months ago, and they're excited. They, we gave them a percentage of their money they invested, just like a regular investor.
Yeah.
Right? And so now they want the next flip.
That's
so
tight.
cool.
I
Yeah.
love that you give them the respect of like, oh, you want to do some adult shit? Then you got to act like an adult.
That's right.
That's dope.
Like their washing dryer machine, their own washing dryer machine in my apartment buildings, right? They put their own money, they buy it. But if the thing breaks, they got to fix it with their own money.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think my parents would have ever taught me this shit. I remember I was my dad. He was a construction worker, and I'm like, hey, how do I do that? And my dad would be like, if you knew how to do this, you wouldn't be wanting to do this. Get out of here. And I'm like,
Get out of here.
all right, well, fuck. I don't know how to do shit now.
Right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Oh wait, no, sorry. Okay, do you advise to take a real estate license and become an agent for the first job?
If you really want to be a salesman, if you purely want to do investing, okay, you can learn how to wholesale, find off market, and then just wholesale, make money, and then learn how to invest and buy property. And you don't need a real estate license to do that. Okay. But if you want to get a real estate license, so you can go out there and help people, put them in the car and go out show houses like a realtor, list houses to make money, and that's your way of making money. If you like to be a salesman, go for it.
So if you like to be a salesman, it is worth it being getting your
That's
license.
right. And you want to take people out showing houses to them.
I see.
But if you don't care, you want to just make money in real estate.
Yeah.
You don't need to do any of that stuff. You can learn how to find off-market deal, because I teach you how to find off-market deal, evaluate, then wholesale that and make money
Yeah.
without even dealing with a buyer and a seller in a car.
Yeah.
Way better.
That does sound way better.
Way better.
Wow.
That's more entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
than being
yeah.
a realtor.
Damn.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known all this shit growing up.
They don't teach you none of this stuff in school.
No, I would have listened more in school for sure.
Also, the teachers don't know shit in school.
They don't. They don't even know rental themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they need to teach. You need to teach teachers how to have more charisma, more personality, be more approachable, teach better.
Yeah.
School was fucking boring. All right, moving on. I got that off my chest. Thank you guys. Any advice for real estate in California Bay Area? Buying or what's BRRR?
Burr.
Burr.
That's my,
Okay.
That's my fling.
Okay.
Yes.
So what's Burr and then the Bay Area
Yeah.
peoples?
So Burr stand for Burr is a strategy how to buy rental property. Remember, you can buy rental property turnkey, ready to go. When you buy turnkey rental property, you buy it at market value. And if you buy it at market value on MLS, you're gonna compete against everybody else. So you gotta pay more for it also with this crazy market. And when you buy traditional turnkey property, you basically put your 20% down or 25% if that's a rental, and that's your equity, which is your down payment. You don't have any other equity. So the Burr model, you buy it. B stands for buy it as a fixer. The worse it is, the better it is. You rehab it. Then you have to get the rehab, and you rent it out. And after you rent it, then you refi it and get your initial down payment back out. And then you take the down payment, and then you go buy another Burr, and we call that repeat the process. So for the Bay Area, if you want to buy a rental property anywhere, I don't care if you're in Texas, Seattle, or the Bay Area. Okay. If you want to create wealth fast, own rental property, buy fixer-upper, rehab the property. By the time you're done, this property, let's say a turnkey property worth $700,000. If you can buy a property, a fixer, and rehab it, and it's all done, and you're in it for $600,000, you got an instant $100,000 equity. You can't do that if the property's already turnkey.
Yeah.
See, it's instant equity. I teach people in the Bay Area, if you want to have equity in the 20, 25, 30% equity when you're all done rehabbing it, you got to get creative. What I call add value and force value. Add value meaning the house is already owed. You update what's already there. We call that add value. Forcing value is you have the structure. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, unfinished basement, and you add more bedroom, more bath in the basement. Now you bought a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, but when you get it reevaluated from the bank or appraisal, they're going to see it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with more square footage. So the appraised value will go up higher.
Yeah. Or if you build like maybe a casino or ADU, yeah.
Right? Or ADU. So by doing that in the Bay Area, this is how you can get higher margin in equity, and you can cash flow better because now you got multiple. You got your primary house that give you rent if it's a rental. Then you have your ADU as a rental. So you have 2 sources that help pay the mortgage on that.
Damn, that's getting creative.
Yes, right. That's how you work around the high market to get instant equity, a lot of equity, and have a cash flow in an expensive neighborhood.
Damn. At what point are you like, the rehabbing for this property is too long, I don't want to deal with it? Or is that not even a consideration?
No, because that's part of where you're going to build your equity. You just put in your own sweat equity in it. And so typically, if you buy a house, if you just remodel a house only, it could take you 3 to 4, 5 months. But when you get done, if it gives you got 20% equity, that's worth it.
Hell yeah, 3, 4 months. I thought you were going to say 3, 4 years or something.
Yeah, you see what I mean? But you build a house, it takes you a year. So even a year later, right? I just did a deal. I got a lot of deals. I just did this one deal I talked about here at the seminar here in Vegas recently. It's a single family home. I bought a fixer single family home for $500,000. I put $50,000 to rehab it, and then I also built a 1,000 square foot ADU next door. It cost me $250,000 to build this. The land was free because it was part of my house. That property, after it's all done, is worth $725,000. This $500,000, the $550,000 I put into it, it's worth like $675,000 together. After it's all done here pretty soon, the value of the house and the ADU, the equity in both of the property together is $600,000 equity off of one house, single family home.
Wow.
And it took me less than a year to do this.
Oh, damn.
And I got multiple of those properties going at one time.
Damn.
That's dope.
Okay, so say I'm starting,
really
right?
Dope. Yeah.
And I'm trying to repeat the BRRRR process.
Yep.
Who do I want on my team? Let's say that I have maybe the money, but I just don't have the foresight or even the insight to be like, oh, I can build this, this, and this.
Yes.
Like that takes some creativity
that
someone that just has the money might not have. Who do I look for?
First of all, if somebody would start today, I would recommend you want to make sure that you get a mentor, right? You want to get a mentor that can actually at least walk with you side by side, that can actually help you see that's the right type of property to buy for a BRRRR.
I see.
Okay, that's the most important thing because not every property is a BRRRR property. Okay, so get a mentor or a coach. Invest in yourself. That's what I always say. Once you get going, you got the coach and mentor, then you're gonna need an architect. You need a general contractor. You need a relationship with a hard money lender, and you need a relationship with a traditional lender. Because a lot of times these homes really beat up. Traditional bank won't finance it. You need to go hard money lending. Hard money will finance it for you. When it's done, the hard money is usually short term. So when you get done, you refinance out of hard money. You put it into a traditional 30-year fix. So that's where the traditional bank got to refi it for you. So you need a mentor, architect, general contractor, right? Hard money lender, and a traditional lender. And that's the basic team.
You don't even need a real estate agent?
You could need a real estate agent, yeah.
Oh.
Because they can help you at the end to put it up for sale. But if you got to keep it as a rental,
oh, right. I see.
then you don't need them. And I teach people to manage their first few properties themselves to learn the in and out. Then when you have more than 4, 5, 6 properties, then go ahead and hire a property manager to manage for you. That way, if they do anything shiesty, you know, because you already manage your own property.
Yeah.
Like that.
Is managing, so say some like people like us, right, that we're pretty stretched thin at this point. I feel like managing is gonna take a lot because now you're literally like, hey, this is clogged or this is broken or this thing, and you're just like, fuck.
If you were to own a rental property, you with the schedule you have, right? Then yes. First, you know me, and I can teach you guys a lot of stuff about managing. So
thank you for
learn,
that.
You learn. But then second of all, you get a property manager, and you can always they can tell you how much they charge, what they're gonna do. You can always, hey, Thach, what do you think about this? Sounds good. And anybody out there, who has rental, they can ask their friends. But you talk to me, I'll tell you, yes, good. And then boom, the property manager manage for you, and then you're off and running. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I'm going to take you up on that.
Yep.
Okay, next question. That was some fucking... There's gems here, all right? I'm going to start charging you guys.
That's it.
I know. This episode is really good.
This right here is what I teach in my mentorship program. This is what I teach all my students how to do.
That's awesome.
All this stuff.
And I see all the testimonials all the time. Like this person's a pharmacist. Yeah, this person does this. It's a school teacher, whatever. And then they're like, oh, I made my first $100,000 in like 6 months, or $250K in equity in like a year. It's awesome.
I don't want to leak too much of it, but wait until the TV show come out.
Okay.
It's a TV show?
There's a TV show?
Come on.
Oh,
heard
man,
it here.
Come on, baby.
There you go.
Okay.
I love to hear it.
Is there a date that it will come out? Or you don't know yet?
We are at the casting stage right now.
Okay.
We're casting students. So the whole
Sick.
show is going to be that's doing his thing, buying property. We have him doing the burr. And then that's is teaching all his students how to fish, which is learn how to find an ugly house, rehab it, and keep it as rental, the burr. And so the whole show is going to be that's doing burr. That's teaching all his students how to do burr all across America. And the whole show is about teaching people how to basically own rental property.
Nice.
That's fix and flip. There's nobody out there that teach you how to do rental property. And the burr model too. And the goal is to have all, probably, 5 or 6 of the student where we're going to showcase them through a series of, in the season, episode of everybody starting from finding ugly houses and then rent them out, right? And turn them into rental property. And we follow them throughout the whole season.
Sick.
That's amazing.
I love it.
Rental.
I'm tuning in for sure.
Yeah.
You got to let us know when it comes out because I'm sure everyone wants to listen to
burr
it and watch it.
Baby.
Let's go. Okay, next question. We still good? Okay, we got a couple more. Man, this is so good. Okay, FHA versus conventional loans. What is better option for first-time home buyers?
And what's a FHA loan?
FHA loan is a government loan where you can put very little money down, right? And your credit score and everything can be lower, right? And they charge you a little bit less interest rate, but the interest rate is low and you can qualify a little easier because the credit score is lower, right? FHA you can do like 3.5% down or 3% down, and conventional you can do like 3.5% or 5% down. So it's almost you can get in the same, but some people credit score is a little lower, so they can use FHA.
What's
right?
the pros and what's the cons of FHA then?
For me, the pro for the conventional is that when you get there and after you get like your 20% equity in it, they can pull that mortgage insurance.
Yeah.
Sometimes FHA is a little bit tougher to do that. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see.
But I think whatever you can qualify for, just get in, and then just use that vehicle to grow your appreciation on it. And then, then later on, when you get enough equity, you can refi it and get better loans on them.
FHA too, is that the one where you're kind of restricted to certain areas or certain aren't you capped?
Yeah, and
with
price point.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and conventional you have a bigger price point. You know what I mean? You can get a bigger house.
I see.
Right. So it's really for the beginner, but these days, you know what I mean? They're all great loans. Just the whole key is you gotta do what it takes. Just get into the loan.
Okay, so for you, you're not saying one is better than the other.
No,
It's just
get
get
in
where you can get in.
Get in. Right. The whole key is get into real estate ASAP. Take advantage of it, and then let the appreciation ride, and try to do a lot of them.
Damn, I love that. You simplify it so
Everything.
much where I'm like, My dumbass brain understands it.
Yeah.
That's what everyone says. They always say the best time to invest was yesterday.
Yeah.
The second best time is today.
Yeah. Just get in, folks. The whole key is getting in.
Because then every day that you wait, you're wasting a day of potential appreciation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get in. The key is real estate is all appreciation.
Okay, you're becoming a guru now?
I don't know shit. I don't know. I just watch his videos.
Okay. Oh, I think that was it.
Okay.
Those were all the questions. Do you have any more?
No, those are all the questions?
Yeah.
Let me see if there's some more then.
Yeah, there was a ton. You just went boom, 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 boom. No, but like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That like, I let him take care of like the home stuff. Like there's just so many things on our plate that we just have to split a lot of our stuff up. So if we feel one person's strong in a certain area, we're like, okay, you take that task on. So when it comes to like purchasing new homes or rental properties, I leave that in his hands. Right. But when I saw your videos, I was like, whoa, you're explaining it in a way where it's not intimidating. And it's very digestible. It's very straightforward. And you have like this cool way of explaining it.
I try to keep everything simple because it's already a very complicated thing. And people sometimes really, there's so much information out there, you can Google it. What I try to do in my video is just really inspire them and just kick them a little bit to get them going.
I like that.
It's just about getting going.
Yeah.
You're going to figure out the how. You're going to figure out all the what and the who to go along with it. And the key is just you got to get started. And my job is to motivate them to get started.
That's awesome. So I got a question right here. By Ron Busy. Should me and my partner put down all of our life savings for a home loan deposit?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Home loan deposit.
I guess probably their deposit for their mortgage.
Oh, the mortgage.
Yeah.
Oh, good question. I always say you gotta have reserve
For
right?
just
for anything.
For rainy day emergencies.
For anything, right?
Yeah.
If you don't rent a property, you gotta have reserve for home being vacant.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think you should empty it out. I think if again we talked about earlier, if all you need was 5% down and all you had enough to do 10, you might have to put 5% down, keep the other 5 in your pocket, and then let the market appreciate a little bit. You know what I mean? If you can make the payments, you get in 5% because the monthly payment of 5 and 10 it don't change much, but it keeps them for rainy days.
Yeah.
People never think about rainy day. I'm telling you. You need money for rainy day, folks.
Yeah, wasn't the stats like if I think right now the American people if an emergency happens they can't even afford to dish out like $300 or something like that.
Yeah, people right now they don't think about tomorrow. They think about today only.
That's wild. That's wild. You got another one?
Yep. Let me see.
You're nice. You were saying their name. I didn't say anyone's name. Sorry. I thank you for the questions though.
Okay, here's a question. How do you overcome, from the musical Wolf 13, how do you overcome the fear of failure?
Oh, man.
Because I think that's also one thing where a lot of people, they want to invest, or they might even have the money invest, whether it's real estate, stocks, crypto, anything.
Yes.
But there's always the risk of losing it. Right. So a lot of people, they're like, well, I'm just not even going to move the money. I'll keep it there. Right. But then there's also like the risk of inflation where your money that's sitting there is going to lose value. Like, how do you overcome that fear?
Right. The great thing about real estate, it is a very calculated risk.
Yeah.
It's not like going to the casino and you rolling the dice.
Yeah. All on red.
Right? All on red. It's calculated. I can't speak for other business. But first of all, if you just look at real estate as a basic, if you buy a property and you're going to live in it, say you're renting it. If you buy a property and you're going to turn it into rental, if you have some reserve and you hold it long term, you can't lose. Remember, the only time you ever lose, you have to sell it. The only reason you have to sell it because you didn't have reserve and all of a sudden the house went vacant and then you can't afford to make the payment when the house is vacant until you find the next tenant. That's when people have to sell their property. You know what I mean? So to me, if you buy rental property and you put some money down, you have some reserve, and you keep a long term, owning rental is a marathon, not a sprint. If you keep a long term and you got reserve, you can go psych through all the market. You can't lose. Now, if you're doing the flip game, that's where the risky game is. These people out there that fix and flip. The risk is if you're not smart and you're not educated on what's the price, what's the real price on this property as a fixer. what's the after repair value price? What they call it ARV. When it's all the remodel, what is it worth? If you haven't studied the market long enough and know the market area long enough, if you think this is gonna be worth 500 when it's done, but it's worth 450. See how fast you do 50 grand?
Yeah.
If your profit's only 50 grand, you already lost it right there.
Yeah.
And if you think this property is, if you think it's worth 500, and you say this property I can buy it for, I can afford to pay 350, then you overpay. You overpay for this, and then you miscalculated this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This go down 50 grand. You pay 50 grand too much for this, you lose your ass off. If your contractor, right, says it's gonna cost $50,000, and he took him, instead of 3 months, he said it took him 6 months, you just pay too much for interest carry costs. So the flipping game is more risky game. The rental game is buying it, you're holding it.
Yeah.
That's less risk. Okay. So when I said the BRRRR model, you buying it as a fixer, there's risk in buying it at the right price, getting the contractor you got to know. But since you're keeping it, there's less because you're not going to sell it.
Do you ever sell any of your properties? Like, let's say you got something and then it appraised or it went up like crazy. Do you ever cash out on a property and just sell it?
So when I buy a property today and I rehab it, or I built brand new, I always go in with the intention, can this property be a BRRRR? So to me, a BRRRR, my standard for a BRRRR, my mindset is, one, there's 3 ingredients that make up a BRRRR for me. This is my standard. It has to be a proper way. After I rehab the property, I buy the purchase price and the rehab. After I'm done, it has to be all in at 70% of the new ARV price. So listen, after it's all done, I think that property is worth 500. All in should be at 350. That means the 150 is my 30% equity.
Gotcha.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So for a BRRRR, for me, I gotta have at least 30% equity. The second ingredient is it has to be in the area where the rent's high enough to pay. Because if I'm gonna refinance and get them work for 350 to cash out, so I get my money back. Because when I buy the property for 350, I gotta put 20% down, which is 70,000.
Yeah.
When I refi, if I know that thing is gonna be appraised for 500,000, the bank will loan me 70%, loan the value of the 500, which is 350. So I tell the bank, just loan me 350. So I get 100% financing on 350. I get my down payment back out because hard money get paid back. I get my 70% back, right? $70,000 back. That rent has to cover that 350 mortgage and some. Make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
And it has to be in the area where it appreciate 7% and more every year.
Every year.
So I mean, it double every 10 years. That's my standard. I roll by it. If it don't meet those 3 criteria, then I fix it and I flip it.
Gotcha.
So every time I walk into a deal, I say to myself, does it fit these 3 criteria? Yes, yes, yes. This is a keeper. If it doesn't, I sell it. So you see how well I calculate it. And when I teach all my students, these are the standard. If it hits it, you keeping it. If it don't, fix it and flip it. That's it. That's the standard. Nobody do this.
That's awesome.
Nobody. We walk in knowing what we're going to do.
Damn, you make it sound so easy.
Once you know the standard, once you know things, right? Then you have you're clear.
Yeah.
And when you get a property and boom, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so that's when I keep and that's when I sell.
Gotcha. So this guy is asking a question, and I have a follow-up question because I feel like people want to know this because I personally was in this person's shoes.
And these will be the last ones.
Okay, yeah. So this guy's from Nero San 47. He says, at what age did he buy his first property?
Oh, good question.
And my follow-up question to that is, so I grew up, I would say probably below middle class because my parents got divorced. And so my mom was a divorced mom, single woman, raising a kid by herself. And like a lot of Asian immigrants, they just hustle hard and they're really good at saving money. So my mom, she was probably making under 30 grand a year back in like the 90s and stuff, but she probably saved like half of it.
That's right.
And she started renting the rooms out. So we had a 4-bedroom house, and me and my mom lived in one room,
Right.
and she rented the other 3. So now the other 3 rentals were able to pay for the mortgage of the home. So we technically lived in the house for free, even though we had strangers all the time. So there's definitely cons to it.
Definitely weird.
But you got creative and you got resourceful, right?
Hey, your mom was doing Airbnb before Airbnb even existed, bro.
That's funny. I didn't even think about it like that.
Sometimes bed and breakfast too, because she's making food and sharing it with people.
That's right.
And so, so she was crushing it, and then she was able to finally save enough and buy her own rental house, rental property, right? So I saw that. So I saw like the workings of it.
That's right.
And when I was like 21, 22, 23, I understood this concept, and I understood I could probably save one of my weekends to hustling, to getting another job and making money and start with my own rental.
That's right.
But then also as a 21, 22-year-old,
you want to party.
You want to party.
Laid,
yeah.
Right.
That's the hard part. So you're like, so you got like this part where you're like, this is what I should be doing.
That's right.
But then you also want to do this. Like, how old were you? Because I knew you were young when you first bought your own house. Like, how did you fight those early 20s urges?
Yes. All right. So first question. I bought my first rental property in 1997.
How old are we talking about?
I was 27 years old.
Okay.
That's a pretty good age.
Yeah.
That's a really good age. Yeah.
Now I bought it as a first-time home buyer.
Okay.
The house is $120,000. I still own it today. I put down 5%, which is a little over $6,000. And then I decided to live with my mom and dad still, and I turned it into a rental.
How did you even have the, like a lot of kids, they want to immediately flex, right? Like, oh, I don't live at home no more.
Right.
How did you even fight that?
Right. So first of all, back then they didn't have social media, so people wasn't flexing as much as they do.
Yeah.
True that,
it's
man.
It's a gift and a curse.
Today, social media, everybody, for them to feel like they're important, they got to flex. You know what I mean? So Cammie was the real boss.
This is your wife.
This is my wife, Cammie.
Yeah.
So me and Cammie were living at my mom and dad's house, right? And so when we bought our first rental, right, which is we bought it as own occupy, and then we turned it into a rental, and we stayed there, and then today, man, that property I bought for $120. You guys, I want to put down 5% down. We did some minor updating here and there throughout the year. The house is still in good condition. It's worth $750,000 today.
Wow.
And it's free and clear. I get $3,000 a month for rent. That's just purely appreciation. See?
Yeah.
A $6,000 investment with some minor repair here and there, not a major remodel, and it turned into what, $750 minus $120? Let's call it $600,000 with equity.
Damn.
Imagine I got hundreds of those.
Okay, so now I have a follow-up question to your follow-up question. So I know there's going to be a lot of guys that are already asking, like, how do I get a girl? How do I get a girl? But you not only got the girl, but you brought her back to live with your parents.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
That is tough.
Yeah, that's tough. My mom and dad, I mean, they're easy going, you know what I mean? And they was cool, you know what I mean? And Cammie and I, you know what I mean? We were easy going. So,
how did you? So you didn't have to convince her. You didn't have to go like,
yo. Saw the picture.
Yeah, right. Well, Cammie and I, when we were dating, we were, of course they always come over, to our house, or I go to her house, you know what I mean? And the mom and dad, they got to know us, you know what I mean? And I started real estate young. I was out hustling. I think parents, when they see their kid hustling, they have respect for the guy.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So now this guy's not a loser. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. And this guy's hustling. He's selling real estate. He's hustling. And so and then it started with as simple as Cammie would her and I would be out and about, and sometime Cammie would get home late at night, 10 o'clock, and then sometime later on she'd get home at 11 o'clock, and sometimes get home at 1 o'clock, and then eventually she never came home. She stayed at my house. You know what I mean? And then one day her mom was like, tell Cammie to come home. It's in the morning now. Oh, okay. Right. And then she'll go home, right? And then, that kind of schedule, sometimes she go home, sometimes, she stay, and then eventually her mom and everything wouldn't even trip no more because, they constantly see us, right?
Yeah.
So, but the thing was, Cammie and I had been just a hustler from day one. And I think to answer your question for you, bro, about being young and want to kick it, we were always hanging out with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
We were playing tennis together. Right? We worked at Safeway together when we were younger. You know what I mean? I got into real estate early, and then she came on later. And we were just hustling together, and we did everything together. And when you're doing everything together, we'd go out kicking it together, go eat together, we'd go make money together. And it was just, we wasn't feeling like we're losing. You know what I mean? I think when someone who's young and they don't have anybody yet, it's a different story. You know what I mean? They want to get their groove on. They want to get their flex on. They want to do things. But I'm just going to tell the young people today, if you buy a property and you let the renter pay for your property, or you pay the monthly payment, it's going to take you 30 years to pay it off. So if you're 25 years old and you just let the mortgage pay itself, it's going to take 30 years to pay one off. Okay? I'm going to give you a little bonus right now. If you make the payments 12 months, right? And at the end of the year, you make one extra payment with the 13th payment, and you drop that straight to principal, you will shave off 7.5 years of your loan.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay?
Should we be doing that with this house too?
Of course. Make one extra payment, drop it.
I might do 2 extra payments.
Right?
Let's go.
Like towards the principal. Now, the point I'm making to young folks, right now when you're young, you got a long runway. Don't kill so much of your runway, and all of a sudden you get to 35, now your runway is short, because you want to get to a position where you have my age at 50, where you have enough passive income where you can work when you want to work, where you want to work, who you want to work with.
Yeah.
So when you're in your 20s, go have fun, but don't waste all that. Invest, go work, save your money, buy a couple rental, make some extra payment. So 15 years from now, 20 years from now, you're going to have 3 or 4 houses paid off by the tenant. Now you're living on a big retirement plan right there. You got a gang of net worth. You got some good cash flow. Now you can work or not work. For me, I still work every day.
Because you want to.
Because I want to, not because I have to, which is the best way. So that's what I would say to the young people. Don't think, oh, I got plenty of time. You don't. Because the moment you get into your 30, now you only got 20 years before you're 50. Because by the time you're 50, you don't want to work that much. And you ain't going to want to work because you got kids now and you got family and your energy is less, right? You don't have the same motivation. You don't have the same drive. Your goals is different. Yeah. You're going to want to hang out with your family more. And you're not going to be like me at 51 years old. That's how old I am, 51 years old. You're not going to have the same ambition to keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So don't kill too much of your runway when you're young, folks, because you don't have that much time. Okay? Go have fun, but also be responsible.
Love it.
Okay? That's awesome. That also sounds like, too, because you found who mattered the most in your life early, that you didn't really have imaginary people to impress.
That's right.
Because I think, like for me, when I was, I didn't meet her until we were like 27 or 28. But in the early ages, when you want to get your groove on and kick it, you're really going to the club or even on social media. You're just doing things to impress people that don't really matter.
That's right.
And it's really pulling yourself away from the things that actually matter.
That's right.
When, like, where you're like, well, I already have my ride or die chick. We play tennis. We do whatever. We hang out, all that together. Right outside of that, I'm going to hustle really hard. Right. So I think, like, to all the young kids out there, young people out there, like, be really focused on who matters the most in your life.
Yeah.
And if they're happy, you're happy, then the next thing you should do is focus on yourself.
And I'm going to add to that. Find a mentor who you really can respect beyond money, right? Who has money and balance.
Yeah.
Right? And quality and integrity. And then go and see where they let you intern. That's how Lorenz met me. He was only in his...
Shout out Lorenz.
Right? Shout out to Mr. Lorenz, right?
Yeah.
He came to me when he was young, when he was like, he's 27 now. He came to me when he was like 24. And he asked me, can I run your social media for free? Right? Let me help you.
Smart man.
And so since Lorenz been hanging with me, I taught him about business. I taught him about so many things. So now he's hungry at a young age to start to buy his property and start stacking his thing. So for the young folks out there, you don't have a Thach right in your life. You can go find people around you that is already doing things. Go see if you can intern with them for free and go give something of value for them for free. Let you be sidekick with them for a little bit. Like when you hang out with them, you're going to have someone else speaking something different in your ear versus all your friends, all the people on the social, nothing way, speaking stuff in your ear. And that's how you actually can get going faster too.
That's awesome.
I love that. I love that you're teaching that. I'm about to wrap it up because we've reached the end of this. But I feel like that needs to be spoken over and over again. I feel like this generation, I sound old now. I sound like my fucking parents. But yeah, I feel like this generation right now feels like, well, what are you going to do for me? Instead of it being like, wait, I have nothing. Like my knowledge is so low. Let me just intern or let me like volunteer my time so that like I can learn for free.
That's right.
So I love that you're saying it that way.
Yeah.
On that note, Damn, I hate always saying bye because this is so rad. This is so fun. You're great energy. I'm just so happy you're here. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for everyone who submitted your questions. I'm going to leave all his information in the description box below so you can find him. Thank you again.
My pleasure.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Remember, I told you earlier, let's use this platform to inspire and empower other people, but together, let's leave a big ass mark on the planet way better than it is when we came in.
Hey,
awesome.
I can stand behind that.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
Peace.